This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So,
the way you say it, it sounds like this is going to be a fun segment.
all of the allegations against all of these alleged or admitted bad men.
Yes.
But do you agree with Conan O'Brien, who tweeted this morning,
Uh-oh.
I'm ready for the all-female reboot of America. I'm ready for the all-female reboot of America.
What exactly does that mean?
Do you agree with pandering ninny Conan O'Brien? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. You know, we need to, since all of us men are Philistines and troglodytes, we need to just walk away and turn over the country to women. It's very much of the intellectual depth of, you know, if women ruled the world, we'd never go to war. And then, of course, you look at the countries where women have been heads of state,
Yes.
and virtually all of them have gone to war. That's not a criticism of women. It's undermining the intellectual or attacking the intellectual vacuity of a statement like if women ruled the world, which is a version of what Conan O'Brien is offering. My point is to say all of us are fallen. All human beings are fallen. All. And so when you hear this kind of men problem, the toxicity of masculinity, and because there are legitimate victims in these cases, but also some of the victims are men, per Kevin Spacey.
Well, and also Mariah Carey. She's got one of her bodyguards claims that she sexually abused him.
And then
she forced him to make her. She came in a negligee, and you were off that day. But that's one man who came forward claiming sexual abuse.
And Nick Cannon, she forced him to marry her. That was unfair.
Stop, no.
So here's the thing. So I understand and concede the point that when it comes to sexual assault, obviously the overwhelming majority of the victims, legitimate victims, are women. Sexual abuse, sexual assault, because men and women are different, and it's much more likely that a man is going to be a predator than it is a woman.
Well,
obviously.
we control ourselves better. You guys don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So stipulated.
So is Conan O'Brien suggesting that no more male producers or directors in Hollywood?
How about
because they're the ones with all the power?
How about talk show hosts?
Talk show hosts too.
He needs to be replaced by a woman. But this idea that women are innocent in all of this, and they're nothing but victims. Is that true? Or when it comes to the interplay between men and women in professional circles, do perhaps some of the bad acts take different form? But are women always innocent? Should they be given the presumption of innocence and men given the presumption of guilt, I guess is my question.
Well, it's been happening that way since the beginning of time. But here's a great point. Leanne Tweeden, who's upset about Al Franken sticking his tongue down her throat or whatever, he kissed her and she didn't want it. She knew that a kiss was in the scene that they were going to be performing in front of the USO. She read the script before they practice it. So for me, I don't think that she's a real victim here. I think that she's just capitalizing on a moment when people are coming out and thought, you know what, I'll have my day in the sun. This might, jumpstart her career again. And I know I should be supporting her because I am a woman. But there's real victims out there, folks.
Well,
and I know that's not the point you're trying to make, but I just...
Well, and also I don't like this, kind of... all this women versus men, women of the world unite, solidarity based on gender. It's like solidarity based on race. How about solidarity based on intellect? How about solidarity based on what's going on between your ears? Rather than all this identity, solidarity, silliness. Women this, we got to rally around women. And I mean, it's just the idea that the idea that that men are fallen and women are pure.
We are.
Okay. If you say so.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey Pro answer line.
Steve and Niles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. I have a solution for this. You get 2 fish bowls. You put all the actors, producers, directors in one fish bowl, and in the other fish bowl you put all the politicians' names in there. And then you have a pick and you find the culprit every day.
Thanks for the call, Steve. That sounds like the best idea for a board game that I've heard since Jump to Conclusions from Office Space. You get it? You jump
to conclusion.
Yeah.
That's funny. You're funny sometimes.
Occasionally. Yeah. When I'm not a predator with my toxic masculinity.
Stop looking at me.
Steve in Hinsdale.
Yeah, my solution is we have Christmas coming. Every man on his Christmas list should have a anatomically correct sex style. That would handle everything. Jeez, that would be great. And then our wives can just kind of live by themselves, and then we'll get back to
thank you. So
you think all we want from you guys is that?
So men should be replaced by sex bots. So maybe that's what Conan's talking about, rebooting with a female-only America. Joanne at Midway.
Hi, Amy. I think you're missing something from the Al Franken story, and that is that woman had said she did not want to practice the kissing scene with Al Franken, and he insisted and he insisted. So you got to give her a little slack.
Well, in addition to the photo,
she read the script and she should have said,
"Thanks for the call,
cut that out. We're not going to do that."
Well, and also
the photo too. That's so creepy. But that's him trying to be a comedian. I mean, guys, his first response was, "Oh, I was trying to be funny," and then his handler said, "Oh my gosh, that cannot be your response."
By the way, the rehearsing for a skit, and he says in a statement, Franken, that he doesn't remember it the way that Miss Tweed remembers it. Mm-hmm. But it's one thing like, oh, we're going to do like a little skit, and it's like a peck. It's not sticking your tongue down my throat, fish lips.
Yeah, fish lips. Where's my fish lips? I love fish lips. It's her new name for him. Actually, she's had it since it happened in 2006.
All I can remember is that his lips were really wet, and it was slimy.
Gross.
In my mind, I called him fish lips the rest of the trip.
And she's never been able to eat shellfish again. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Oh, hey, Dan. Amy, I've been so anxious to tell you something. You're missing an important point here. Leanne had stated that she was planning on, when they were on stage there and for his kiss scene, she was going to turn her head and basically not even do the kiss, and then basically kind of just, play it into it, kind of like, have it as part of the skit or whatever. She had no intentions of kissing that guy. Oh. The whole thing, and then that's why where she kind of went along with the practice thing, she wasn't planning on doing that either. He took her, grabbed the back of her head, and pulled her in, and all that kind of thing. She said it, but you missed the point where she had no intention of kissing that guy at any time.
That's right.
Practice or for real.
Okay.
Thanks, Craig. Finally, we had a feminist call in, unlike you. Properly rallying to the defense of Miss Tweeden. Scott in the West Side.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. The problem with this whole sexual harassment stuff is that the definition continues to change, and it's defined by the victim or the so-called victim. And with time, that can change as well. And from what I understand, it's when the sexual harasser has power over the sexual harassee. And I just don't see it in this Al Franken case as much as I would like to, because Al Franken is creepy, but it's not sexual harassment. We're just going way overboard.
Thanks for the call, Scott. I mean, it could, if it's an unwanted touching, though, it's not even an issue of harassment. It's an issue of battery.
But the left's all this. Oh, Roy Moore now has 9 accusers. Oh my gosh, he asked a woman out. While she worked at the Sears, that's not an accuser.
I'm trying, like, just male versus female. Yes. We get into. I mean, as much as we're trying to break down stereotypes, We fall into these stereotypes. We fall into these these societal ills that we say we need to remedy, that we continue to perpetuate long after they've been more than remedied. And I think about girls in education, girls in school.
Yeah.
We have a crisis in girls' education, particularly girls going to higher ed. And then, and that's been
now we have more enrolled in higher ed than boys.
The 60% of the degrees, most of the advanced degrees in everything but the hard sciences. So does that mean now we have a crisis in boys' education?
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Mario in Chicago.
Hey, Dan and Amy, love your show. Love the topic.
Thank you.
I just want to put in my 2 cents worth with regards to the sexes who assaults more. I think it is the man who does most of it, but
sure.
Let's not forget Anna Nicole Smith. She really loved her 90-year-old disabled husband.
Oh, she loved him.
We listened to her show.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Mario. That's a good example. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So when it's frankly gold digging, or when it's the casting couch voluntarily, that's kind of sleeping your way to the top, and so on and so forth.
Some women do that. But a lot of us don't. But some women do, and I know because I've seen it in news. I get it.
But that's my point: is that it's individually specific. It's not male versus female. It's not toxic masculinity. It's not, and it's not women who are in positions of authority and power didn't all sleep their way to the top. But we get locked into these stereotypes of how things always play out. When in point of fact, in many cases, allegations are made and the facts don't support the stereotype, right? So that's kind of where I'm going to, which is why these statements like Conan O'Brien tweeted are so insulting, and women should find them insulting because they're so transparently pandering. Dupreet in Jefferson Park.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
I want to reference the Conan O'Brien remark that you made earlier. Nobody wins with identity politics. Power does corrupt, but those grounded in faith and conviction stand through that. And you can see a lot of examples in high schools where teachers are having,
relations with
intimate,
students. Yeah.
Right. There are a lot of examples you can find. You can look at the Brazil prime minister, what she was involved with. There's no winner in identity politics. They should be chosen based on the best qualities they bring forward, and that goes both ways, whether it be a woman or a man.
Thanks, Dupreet. Well said. Totally agree with that. Bill in Skokie.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. This whole conversation raises a question on our whole society perception of men and women. A man takes a picture with him with 6 girls. He's considered a player, and a woman's considered I don't know if I can say it on the radio, but,
a hussy.
She's considered a slut. Why?
Why do you use the S word?
Yeah.
She's a hussy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, thanks for the call, Bill. Steve on the south side.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I'm just wondering if the same women that complain about this are the same women that'll flaunt their assets when they get speeding tickets or get pulled over for expired registration.
I do. I don't hide it.
Me too.
And I say, these are real. That's how I start it. And then, just do what you got to do to get out of the ticket. Dan, you do it too.
That's why I wear low-cut blouses.
And that high skirt you're wearing today, I don't know.
Thanks for the call, Steve. Yeah.
Look at these gams.
Yeah.
Or yams.
I'm sorry, officer. Is there nothing I can do? Get out of the ticket every time. Bill in Brookfield.
Yeah, I believe it was Moody that did a survey or study on this, that men think of sex 30 times a day and women think of sex less than 4. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, there's no question in this. Yeah, thanks for the call, Bill. There's no question that.
Never kept a tally on that, though.
Yeah, and that's right. So men and women are different.
I think about volleyball.
Right, exactly.
Because we have another game tonight in a different league. I'm thinking about lineups. I'm not thinking about sex. Anywho.
Some people are missing my point. I give up.
No, I'm
Randy and Elkhorn.
I hate to admit it, but I did play volleyball when I was younger.
Girls?
There's no way that, I'm not saying, Hillary Clinton couldn't have slept her way to the top. That's just all I got to say.
Well, she did actually with Bill. Bill was her political ticket, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's why she stuck with him. Mark in Des Plaines.
Yeah, I think why do women wear short skirts and short and low tops? I mean, dressing modestly.
Short skirts and a long jacket.
Cake.
Yeah, dressing modestly is something that's really discounted today. But I don't blame it on the women, and I have to say this for my daughter's sake, who was sitting next to me when I called in, and she said, "Please don't call in and be the guy who says that." But
nice try.
But anyway,
Dad, you're embarrassing me in front of
Well,
your
I mean,
friends.
Mark, you know how it is. Sometimes, you just want to feel pretty. You want to feel desirable. Who hasn't been there?
Should I sing that song? I love that song. I feel pretty. Yes, I feel pretty.
No, you shouldn't
Anyway.
sing it. Thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, what about that? Sometimes you want to be a little risque to be, hey, look at me, world.
Well, I know some
I'm
people
here too.
work hard and actually go to this thing that they call the gym, which you call the gym. Some people go to the gym, they work out so that they are objects of desire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people wear active wear. Sometimes people wear short skirts. It's the freedom of expression,
right.
Dan.
Sometimes I like to show off a little leg because, hey,